everybody, and welcome to the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. Where come rain, shine, or anything in between, we're here to deliver to you the Kansas State sporting news that you so love. I'm Ace Edwards, right alongside
Connor Baltazar.
And welcome back, Connor. Welcome back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be back.
I'm glad to have you back, even though the trip that you had was, well, it was eventful in the happy way for one, and then eventful negative for another, but we don't have to talk about that. I already did an episode on that.
Yes, and I'm glad that I didn't have to be on that episode because I had many emotions, but I could just internalize them now for the rest of my life in an unhealthy way.
That's great, man. But for now, this episode, we're going to go back to the weekly recap, the return of them after I didn't do them last week, mostly because it would have been like maybe a 10-minute episode. But we do have a few things to cover, mostly in the soccer realm. But we are going to start with the men's basketball team with a brand new commit, as well as the numbers coming out for the team. And there's really one reason why I wanted to do the numbers, just because I thought it was funny. But the new commit is Doran Buca from Italy. He's a 7'2", 254 guy from I don't want to call it, it's called Serie 2 or Serie 2 in Italy. So it's a professional league, but it's not like the top of the top of even Italian basketball. But it is a center body after Tyreek Smith. His waiver was denied. And the big thing with Buca is, I mean, he's just an aircraft carrier. You almost have to be at 7'2", but I mean, it's a body.
Yeah, I'm not super optimistic about him being like a breakout sort of player or anything. I mean, you put it well, he's someone that we can rotate in and maybe get like 5 minutes a game from to help rest some of our guys in less competitive games. But I'd love to be surprised by Doran Buca, but my expectations aren't super high. If he can be someone that comes in and grabs a couple tough rebounds or boxes out, I'm going to be pretty happy with the ad. Well, I say pretty happy. I'll be fine with the ad if he can get us a few tough rebounds here and there and, flush a wide open dunk. Like that's about the extent of what I expect from him, just because I think he's a bit of a limited player. Ace, you said it right. He's kind of an aircraft carrier big. He doesn't move the best. I have seen worse movers than him in a K-State uniform, but he still isn't a great mover. So expectations not super high for him, but there's now with Tyreek Smith's waiver and appeal being denied. There's room for, I think, one more player, which at this point are going to be kind of looking around for diamonds in the rough internationally. So I guess we'll see if we add someone else. I have no idea if that's happening or not, but I don't know. We'll see.
Also, he's listed as his fun fact on the roster page is that he is a dual citizen of Romania and Italy. So he's Romanian. Good for him.
That's great, Doran.
But now we can talk about the numbers for the team. And I mean, the main notable one is AK-47. Andre Kostic is AK-47. That's just funny. And he's Serbian too, so it makes it even funnier.
Yeah. He's not the first to do that play on words for an Eastern European basketball player. He surely won't be the last, but I'm very happy to see that at K-State. I think it's funny. And he's also someone I think is going to play quite a bit this year. In fact, he might even start. So we might as well have some little novelties going this year. But I'm excited to see what Kostic can bring to the table for this upcoming season. And his numbers only just a little bit icing on the cake.
Yeah. I think the other big one that I like is I always look for who's number 0, and that's Elias Rapique this year.
Yeah. And that's a big number for K-State fans, of course, because of Jacob Pullen. So the last few guys to wear 0 haven't really lived up to it, unfortunately. with Doug McDaniel being the most recent one. And while he did have some decent highs for K-State, it was a lot of lows on and off the field. So I'm hopeful that Elias Repeak can maybe represent Jacob Holland's legacy a little bit better. But notably listed as a junior as Repeak, but also listed at 6'9", which is way taller than I was expecting. I was expecting him to be around like a 6'6". So I don't know if I believe the roster, but he's, I think, going to be a major piece if K-State is going to be successful this year in basketball, which, now football season's starting. I kind of like, it's still too early for most to think about it, and really even for me, but it does kind of set the feeling in the back of my mind that basketball is really not that far off now at this point. Like after week 1, we're going to be like 2 months away from basketball, which is really weird to think about, but it's coming up.
Yeah, it is. That is very strange to think about how it's right around the corner. And there's another, we didn't talk about this beforehand, but there's another thing that I kind of think is a non-issue that people seem to be thinking about. And it's a out of context Jerome Tang quote where I'm just, people are spinning it to say is like, I'm just happy, that we got the guys we did. I'm going to be proud of them no matter what, which even if that is like directly what he was saying, okay.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of things that Jerome Tang has said that I think are very easy to get upset about. Many justified, a few stretched. And I do think this is one that's a little bit stretched, honestly. I don't think it's a bad thing for a coach to set up a supportive environment for players. We can complain about things that Jerome Tang has said and done the last couple of years here at K-State, but I just don't think this is one of them. I think this is just the sort of situation where people are just kind of upset already, and kind of the knee-jerk reaction is going to be negative. But it'll blow over. If you're going to criticize Jerome Tang for anything this offseason, it'd be like his only media availability being that Iowa State podcast.
Yeah,
which was just very strange to me. But that definitely was it's definitely jarring to read out of context. But I mean, it really does come off more like he's just happier to work with this roster. Like it seems like they're doing a bit better together, which is a good thing. We saw last year how important chemistry can be when putting together a roster with transfers. So hopefully Coach Tang saying that is referring to maybe a little bit more improvement in that department, but we'll see.
I just thought I'd mention it because it's kind of like one of those things like, okay, whatever, it's a story, I guess. Yeah. It's one of those non-story stories.
Yeah, it's been a pretty volatile week for K-State anyways. So I think people are already a little bit on edge.
Yeah. Man, anyway, we can talk about football now. And by that, I mean soccer. And there are 3 matches that K-State has had. And spoiler alert, they won all 3 of them. So they are now off to the best start in program history. And that is 4-0 losses, 4 straight wins. That's more than we won last year. Which
it's more than we won the last 2 years. We've been at 3 wins the last couple of years. So yeah, K-State soccer. And not only that, we're currently on the longest win streak in program history, which is 4. So it's very telling that in the first 4 games with a new head coach, K-State has set a mark for best start to a season and also longest win streak in program history. And that's the first 4 games with a brand new head coach. And in those 4 games, spoiler alert, K-State has not conceded a single goal not one goal given up by the Wildcats. And that's just a wildly impressive feat, no matter who you're playing, no matter what level. So major shout out to K-State soccer. And we'll review these games as well. But, I mean, broad strokes, just super impressive to bounce back against, even though the competition isn't always the greatest from what they've been facing. You got to start somewhere if you're K-State soccer, and this is where you got to start, because even though the competition is not great, K-State's dominating them.
Which, thank God, finally. But the first game was up against Portland State, who actually drew with Iowa State before this game. And K-State actually ends up walking away victorious, like we said, with 2 goals in the second half of play, one of which was scored by Hannah Palmer and the other Mabry Williams. So a 2-0 victory for K-State. And, it was another home match as well. So I think once you get into the shots, I think that you'll find the disparity, Connor.
Yeah, this Portland State match. K-State out shooting Portland State a whopping 18-3 on this one, with 4 shots on goal for K-State, 1 for Portland State. 11 corner kicks for K-State, just 1 for Portland State. Fouls were actually pretty even here, 13 for K-State, 12 for Portland State. I bet we see a lot of that this year, though, because K-State plays a very aggressive style of play. We are pressing constantly on the defensive end and trying to force mistakes to give us runouts and counterattack opportunities. So I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of games where we get a lot of fouls. There's probably going to be a few games here and there where we just are going to get blown out because our pressure is going to cost us a few times. And that's just going to happen with the style of play mixed with the talent we have. So that's where I'm at on that. But the scores from K-State both came in the second half. One from Hannah Palmer on an assist from Mabry Williams, who was a transfer from Oklahoma State. And then Mabry Williams, just a few minutes later, about 10 minutes later, scored on her own, unassisted, to make it 2-0 in the 82nd minute. And that was all the scoring on this one. So this is one you had to stay a little longer to catch the scoring. But K-State takes down Portland State, and that's a team that, like Ace said, drew with Iowa State, which Iowa State, not a great soccer program. I'd say the last several years they've been more of a peer to K-State, and that's not a compliment.
No.
And so, but they drew with Iowa State 2-2, and then K-State takes them down, shuts them out.
Yeah, and I think it's very important that you say Iowa State's a peer school derogatory in soccer. Because, we're both kind of bad.
K-State and Iowa State, longtime cellar dwellers in soccer, unfortunately.
Yeah. But the next match for K-State was actually played in South Dakota, and that was up against, South Dakota in Vermillion, which the only reason I know it's in Vermillion because that was one of 3 law schools that I applied to and got in at. Nebraska actually never even got back to me. That's a fun fact for you. But K-State ends up winning this one 2-0 as well, but split the goals, 1 in the first half, 1 in the second. Hannah Palmer gets her second on the season, then Allison Marshall gets her first on the season in the 50th minute. Hannah Palmer's was in the 36th minute. Now, this one was a little bit more even with the shooting, but still K-State was able to, limit any damage just by virtue of some good goalie play by K-State.
Yeah, good. K-State did outshoot 14-9, 7 for on goal for K-State, 4 for South Dakota. All 4 of K-State's saves for those on-goal shots. Those all came in the first half. So an eventful first half for Sibbing in goal for K-State. But she transferred in from Kansas City, and she's been nails so far. She really has, which that's maybe the one strong point that K-State had pretty consistently the last 9 years is we've typically had pretty good goalkeeper play. And it seems that that's going to be continuing here, at least tentatively. It's been a good start to the year. But yeah, there's been a few players that have been involved in most of the goals early for K-State. Allison Marshall's one of them. Hannah Palmer, her name has come up a ton early in the season as well. So I've been pretty happy with how some of these players have performed because they keep track of points as I do for hockey as well, where you get 2 points for a goal, 1 point for an assist through 3 games. So the game we're currently talking about, Hannah Palmer, she was at 2 goals, 2 assists, so led the team with 6 points. And Allison Marshall, she got her first goal here, so she had 2 points. Then Mabry Williams, of course, she's been pretty busy as well with the assist here. That gave her 3 for the year, or 4, with her goal. So it's been a good year early for K-State goal scorers. Hasn't always been the case. A lot of times scoring has been like pulling teeth for K-State soccer in the past. It's been very difficult to manufacture goals no matter what. But early this year, we've been striking really confidently, and I've been pretty pleased, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just happy we're winning.
Yeah. That might as well just simplify it and say that. I mean, winning is fun. Winning is good. So we should keep doing it.
Yeah, winning is the ideal that we should be aiming for.
I think you and Colleen Corbin would agree wholeheartedly.
Oh, speaking of, we have to, well, whenever we announce the score of the next game, I'll post the meme so people will know the exact time that this episode is being recorded as well. But K-State ends up beating the University of Massachusetts Lowell in Massachusetts 4-0. So dominating performance from K-State. And the goal scorers in this game were, I'm sorry, we're having to go through the live stats for some reason. And now it doesn't want to tell me who scored the actual goals.
Here, I got you for this. Andra Moeller, she scored and also assisted on a goal. This was her first of the season for goal scoring. She had an opportunity early in the first half where she kind of had a runaway, and it was just her and the keeper with the defender kind of trailing behind. Probably should have had a goal, got it saved, and was probably pretty beside herself with that. But she was able to get the goal eventually and put it away. Allison Marshall, she early in the game had a near miss off the post. Like she is extremely strong. Probably the strongest K-State soccer player that I have seen. And the ball really flies off of her foot. So she had a near miss off the post. Other than that, the other goals came from Gabby Demers. It was her first career goal. She got it off of some weird deflections very late in the game. And Hannah Palmer, once again, she got a goal and an assist in this one. So Hannah Palmer continues to be very busy. Her name comes up a lot, but you may be surprised to learn she's actually a substitute for K-State. So she does not start, but by my calculations, that puts her 3 goals, 3 assists, so 9 points to comfortably lead K-State at this point in the season on the point sheet. But she is a holdover from the old staff, and she is part of a group. What Colleen Corbin, she doesn't seem to say substitutes. It's game changers, I think, is how she describes them, because they're players that can come in and do something that they need and bring a burst of energy. And Hannah Palmer has described that to a T early this season for K-State, because she has been an offensive machine. Whether it's her scoring or her assisting, she has been a threat constantly in the attacking third. And it's been a lot of fun to watch, honestly. Like, there's been a few players that I've truly enjoyed watching for K-State this year in soccer so far. Now, we'll see what happens when we hit conference play. But, man, there's been some pretty promising signs early. It seems we're striking better. The ball, it's coming off of our foot a lot hotter than it has in the past. We seem a lot more confident in particular. And to be blunt, we just seem better.
We've come a long way from, well, at least we were competitive this game.
There really has been some pretty sad commentary at times on these episodes when we've covered soccer. But I'm glad that, at least for now, we can finally kind of speak with a little pride about this team. Because, I mean, they're 4-0 for the first time ever. So they deserve the flowers.
We can say what we want about 4-0 being the best start. I will choose to say is, we're just such a young program.
Yeah, we've heard that a lot, but hopefully we're finally kind of turning the corner here. This is another game K-State thoroughly outshot its opponent, 16-2 in favor of K-State, 8-1 for shots on goal, 4-1 on corners. UMass Lowell thoroughly out-fouling K-State as well. UMass Lowell called for 15 fouls. K-State had 8 on this one. Then Maddie Sibbing just had 1 save to make in this game. So, yeah, this was a thorough drubbing and the first, I'd say, true blowout of the Corbin era. But hopefully the first of many.
Yeah, hopefully. The next games for the Soccer Cats are, weirdly enough, a Labor Day game up against Harvard at 10:30 in the morning. A lot of weird things about that. But then they get the rest of the week off before they play Nebraska Sunday, the 7th. But that pretty much wraps up all that we had to cover for the weekly recap. Is there anything else you want to talk about, Connor?
The day that this releases, K-State volleyball is getting underway. They have a UMBC at home Friday, August 29th at 6:30. Then Delaware, August 31st at 1 p.m. So the day before and the day after the North Dakota football game. And that's part of the K-State Invitational for the non-conference. They're coming off of an exhibition last Saturday against Oklahoma. They dropped that 3-2. But last year they lost to Oklahoma at home 3-0. So going on the road to Norman, and I'm taking 2 of 3, or taking 2 of 5, and seemingly being more competitive is potentially an encouraging sign. Hopefully a sign that we'll see a little bit better of a season this year from volleyball, because last year was a disappointment.
Isn't Mansfield's brother the coach of Oklahoma?
Is. Yes, he is, which I imagine is why we play them so often. I'm sure the Mansfield family is very happy to get those games. That way they don't have to split their forces between locations.
But yeah, that's pretty much all we got. So thank you all for listening to this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. If you want to follow or contact the show, you can follow us just about anywhere at Aggieville Alleycats. And if you want to email us, we're AggieVilleAlleycats@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on a more personal note, I'm at ACEdwards00.
I'm at Connor Balthasar, capital C, capital B.
And if you want to support the show financially, please be sure to check out the official Aggieville Alleycats merch store, link found in our podcast and Twitter bio. But most importantly, thank you all for listening to this episode of the Aggieville Alleycats podcast. Where come rain, shine, or anything in between, we're here to deliver to you the Kansas State sporting news that you so love. Stay safe, Alleycats.